Business is operating in a more complex and volatile environment than it ever has done before. This makes decision making more complicated. There is uncertainty around every turn. For finance functions, that means we're operating in a transformed world. Finance is stopping looking at the past and it's looking at the present, it's looking at the future. The modern finance function sits alongside management and it supports decision making. It measures more than the money. It measures qualitative measures, it looks at future, and it does that to inform and influence boards and leaders to make the best decisions for their businesses. The new finance function forms a critical part of the business's ability to think in an integrated way. And management accounting is all about guiding the business through the future, through that myriad of uncertainty, and doing that in a way that brings together all different parts of the business, that acknowledges the way in which levers can be pulled in one part with a result in the other part. It understands that and it uses that to drive business success. The transformed finance function that business is seeking to achieve develops and delivers the financial and the qualitative metrics which support great decision making. To do that, we have developed our global management accounting principles. This comes out from a study involving over 3,000 businesses across the world, from Seattle to Singapore, from Shanghai to Sydney. The global management accounting principles, for the first time, codify what good looks like and what best practice looks like in management accounting. They give CFOs an opportunity to benchmark their own operations against what best-in-class organisations are looking to do. That enables them to drive success of their function, but also, more importantly, it enables them to be providing that best-in-class decision support for their businesses, which enables their businesses to create the long-term value that they need for success. CGMA Compass is a diagnostic tool which looks at the global management accounting principles and how they are achieved within a business. It produces a heat map of results which enable businesses to look across divisions, across functions, and see how they map against best in class. It enables them to really focus on areas, both geographic or functional, where they need to invest, where they need to put in time, where they need to drive improvement.
Hello, my name's Naomi Smith. I'm a fellow of CIMA and a chartered global management accountant, and today I'm going to be talking to you about our global management accounting principles. After the financial crisis, CIMA embarked on a major piece of research to understand what businesses needed from their finance people in the future, to make sure that we built all of that into our syllabus to keep our members relevant throughout their careers. We spoke to hundreds of organisations all around the world, and what became abundantly clear to us throughout that process was that management accounting was done wildly differently, both between different organisations and within some large organisations. So those that had grown by acquisition and had inherited legacy systems and people and processes may have pockets of excellence in some areas and actually be pretty weak on management accounting in other parts of the business. Of course, financial accounting and financial reporting has long had standards and guidance to direct its practice, and management accounting really hadn't. It's done in rather an ad hoc way. Most organisations are sort of left to their own devices as to how they do it. So we really wanted to change that. We wanted to say, okay, let's strip it all back and say what are the fundamental values and principles of our profession, this discipline of management accounting. If you strip it back, what makes it great, what makes it good? And let's seek to codify that, because we are the world's largest and leading organisation of management accountants, and we know what we're talking about, and we're going to talk to our members all around the world and make sure that we observe best practice and that we write it up. So that's what we did. We travelled the world again, we refined our process, and we came up with a framework which I'm going to be talking to you about today. I'm going to talk through those principles and how to apply them in the context of the business. So following the financial crisis, a lot of organisations wanted to make sure that they were much more resilient. They didn't want to be as exposed as they were after 2007-8. And two Italian economists, Amato and Fantacci, wrote this book called The End of Finance, about the financial crisis. And they're talking about this new paradigm, this new way of doing business. And they talk about saying, we shouldn't really just be looking at challenges the way we used to. We can't just tinker with existing mechanisms. We need to ask profound questions about how institutions might be devised in which finance can fulfill its essential functions. Really, management accounting has to keep pace. It has to retain its relevance in order to be able to meet the changing needs of business. So we set about trying to codify the profession, get to its fundamental values and principles to really understand what good management accounting looks like. Now, of course, our profession is very much an information-based discipline. And so when we pull together the definition of our profession, and again, this was tested with lots and lots and lots of organisations the world over, we came up with this, that management accounting is about the sourcing, analysis, communication and use of decision-relevant information. And that's information which is both financial and non-financial that can be used to help generate and preserve value for organisations. If there's one buzzword for this presentation, it's very much the word value, and we're going to be exploring what we really mean by that. How do we talk about value? Who is value for? And how is it generated? We also believe that all successful organisations have really great management accounting functions. But what is an effective management accounting function, and how does it help to create success over time? How does it help organisations to be successful sustainably in both the short, medium and long term? Well, we would argue that it's about 4 Ps: people, principles, performance and practice. So that's highly competent professionals, finance people who really know what they're doing, applying the principles of their profession to improving the performance of their organisation to get that sustainable success over the short, medium and long term through the key areas of practice that you would expect accountants to be doing. So things like costing, budgeting, investment appraisal. I'm going to talk through each of these in a bit more detail to really help you understand how to apply principles in practice.